G'day mates and welcome back to Pharaoh. We're heading into the Old Kingdom now, and this is where the Age of Pyramids begins. This is where we're going to be building the big mighty pyramids that are well known around the world. Let's head on in. Okay, then we have two choices here. We have a military sort of a choice, is Selima Oasis. We have to secure the caravan trails. And then we've got over here in Abu, procure new wealth, and this one is more of the peaceful mission. So we're going to dive right into Selima Oasis.
A new pharaoh, Nebka, has been proclaimed, heralding the beginning of the third dynasty of Egyptian rulers. Nebka has brought great organization and structure to Egypt, ordering that all our realm be divided into districts or nodes, each governed by a local ruler called a nomarch. Though this system may seem rigid, under his leadership Egypt has grown and prospered, and made many great achievements in art and architecture. Merchant caravans traveling oasis by oasis from deep within the African interior have begun to provide Egypt with many rare and exotic luxury goods, now prized by our people. Unfortunately, these caravans are routinely attacked by warriors from Libya and even by Bedouin of the eastern desert. To secure these trade routes, Pharaoh Nebka, he of the said Gendbi, wishes you to establish a military post at the Selima Oasis, the hub of the caravan trade, far beyond the borders of our realm. There you will find some trees suitable for timber, the sale of which will help you raise money to fund the establishment of this outpost. To forge weapons, you may obtain copper from our newly established mines at Timna in the land of Sinai. From the Selima Oasis, you may import ebony from the African nation of Kerma. Once you have succeeded in establishing this outpost, it shall provide a reliable source of ebony for all the cities in our realm.
Alrighty, looks like we are expanding our borders and heading out west into the desert away from the actual Nile. This will be a difficult challenge. So the finer things, looks like we can build temple complexes now, and we can also harvest timber, which is a very, very valuable resource. Surprisingly so compared to some of the earlier games. So let's slow things down slightly. Now my initial instinct is to go and completely remove all of this. That is a bad idea, because in this game they will actually need to go through and cut down the trees. You do need to wait for those trees to regrow. Let's have a quick peek around. I won't spend too long going over all the resources, but you can see this is a reasonably small map. We have probably a good little building area down here. We can do some industry perhaps over here on the east. Although I don't know where we're going to build. It might actually be more useful to build up here on the northern side. We've got a little bit more space to expand out into. Let's have a quick look at what resources we've got. Hunting lodges are our only food. Timber is our only raw resource. And it appears we can import a few things. Let's have a quick look at our gods. Our gods are... Okay, we've got two of them, Seth being one of the military ones. And also our patron god, and Ra, just to help us out. And on the world map, there are a few different things. Kerma here is a bit of a red herring. You can open trade. Let me, a few seconds. Let me resize the window so I can see the bottom again. Kerma is a bit of a red herring. It will get cut if my experience or my memory is correct. It'll be taken over repeatedly by sieges. So we're not even going to bother with that one. We are going to instead focus on trading northwards. So let's cut over, and I'll be back when I've set up the bare bones. Alrighty, we have ourselves the little bare bones area of what we're going to be setting up here. I've cleared a couple of the trees away. I've tried to be as careful as possible, but I'd like to leave a little bit of this area for setting things up lately. There is still more than sufficient timber for us to cut down. Now the thing is, money is going to be the first thing we really need to jump onto. So as soon as these people start getting their act together and moving in, we're going to need to sell our timber. Now, Badet will buy a fair bit of timber. Abjadu will also buy timber. It looks like it's all land trade routes because there's no water at all here, which makes things very easy. And that's all. So these guys though will sell us copper. So I think it's worthwhile jumping on board and getting the copper imported. But to begin with, you're not even going to bother with these guys. To begin with, we're going to jump straight into opening up this trade route here. And thank you. And we'll get Abjadu as well, because they will also buy our timber, our wood. And let's just basically set it to full export. And what I'll do is I will be back once I've set up our little export industry. So we've got our timber cutters set up. We've got 4 little industries of it so far. That should be sufficient for the time being. They will just gradually work their way around as the timber they've cut will regrow. And there we are. We're actually selling quite a bit of it. I may even need to move up from 4. For the time being, I think it will be enough. I'll need to closely monitor really how much is being sold, if we're getting close to our export limits or not. The next major thing is going to be immediately moving on to, let's have a quick check at our unemployment here. Shit tons of unemployment. So what we're going to do is immediately move on to importing copper and getting a military set up. And the way I'm going to do the military is I'm actually going to do it over here. I'm going to set up a little area with an industry running off, and I'm going to have people that are going to move in, and we can actually tap this food source later. But for the early part, they're just going to be unhealthy looking wooden little tent city shacks over here. We will level them up at a much later date. Alright, I have actually gone ahead and changed my mind. I've decided to put the weaponsmith up back here. We are struggling with unemployment quite a bit, and I really don't need to put up a new area just yet. So what I'm going to do is focus on building up a good weapon supply. Now the problem, of course, is that I can't actually export weapons anywhere. So there really is nothing for me to do. So dumping too much unemployment into that is not going to help me. On the other side though, what I can do instead is throw a little bit more effort into actually, where's the word, into getting a couple more timber cutters, or wood cutters as you call them. I want to leave this area here free for pottery and beer. So I'll just throw another timber cutter there, and I'm tempted to cut a few more things up there. Let's see, I need 1, 2, 3, so I can throw 1 there for the time being and still leave a little bit for some beautification back here, and that'll keep things going nicely. And back into debt again. Gotta be careful, I keep doing that. It's not good. Well, here's an interesting problem. I haven't actually imported any luxury goods. What I might be able to do though is to actually import them briefly, if I'm very quick. Go to the world map and actually get them from Kerma here. I think they're the only person who sells luxury goods, which is a bit unfortunate, because I don't think there's any other way to get them. Yet they're the only people who sell them, so I'm going to have to import them from Kerma. Bit of a shame, because they're not going to do anything else good for me. So I'll open them up. I will go to import luxury goods, and hopefully we can get there in time. We don't have a lot of space to really get them in, but we'll see what we can do. We will see if we can get them in time. Now I'm going to need to put a little storage yard. If I can get these people to move out of the way. Okay, I'm going to have to clear some space through here. I'll just get rid of that one. And I'll throw this storage yard right there. What I'm going to do is, you're going to accept nothing for now, although you will get pottery at a later date. And you'll need beer at a later date as well. But for now, your only job is to get luxury goods. Let's see if we can get there in time. I'm also going to start working on our military. So I'm going to throw a recruiter down over there, and then we'll start getting our forts down as we get the cash for it. And we got there just in time. Let's dispatch those goods. I am going to possibly start importing a whole bunch more of them. We are very short of Debons at the moment. So let's just check what's going on here. Our wood is exporting over 0. For some reason it's April and nobody has bought any of it yet. So we are in a bit of a problem there. But I'm going to continue. Let's bring that up to... I'll bring it up to 800 if I can afford to go that high. That is a bit of a stretch, but if we can keep it there and just have a quarter of a yard stockpiled, I think oh damn, that is a lot of money. I think that will keep us going for the time being. I'm going to have to add down a couple more of these guys right in here to harvest that wood and really just make sure we're getting everything that we can afford to get out of here. And we've got yet another luxury good request. Unfortunately this time Kerma is under siege. It is lucky that I brought in all those extras. They really set me into debt and I haven't really recovered, unfortunately, which is a downside. But it will keep me going. At least I can keep my relationship with Pharaoh up just a little bit better. Now what I'm trying to do here is actually get some papyrus. Reeds are a very useful import because they're so cheap to import and papyrus is so valuable. They've got one of the largest differentials in terms of importing raw materials and exporting manufactured goods. So that is what I've chosen to go for. It's also going to eat up some of my unemployment. So hopefully I can start mass producing a little bit more of this. And this is interesting. Looks like the Libyans are coming in to invade and they'll be here in 1 year. I thankfully have an army that is already under construction, but that is not helped by the fact that it has been a mass exodus. Again, I seem to have one of these every single episode, and I'm definitely got to pay more attention to that, so I will get just a little bit better. It really is a balancing act, unfortunately. Population tends to shoot up very quickly, but hopefully things are going to come back in. Population or tax rates are now much lower, and so people will begin to be happy with us again. I may even consider paying, if I can find it, I may even consider paying them a couple of points above the kingdom level, so that'll increase the city mood just a little bit. While we're here, I think we're also going to throw up another fort, since I happen to have the spare cash right now. Now, I've got no idea where they're going to come from. They're going to come from the south, possibly. Although they are Bedouin desert raiders, they may come from the west a little bit. So I think we're going to assume they're going to come from the west. So I'm going to throw another... I'm actually going to throw one just up here to the north. That will give us good coverage in different directions. Yet another request for luxury goods, and Kerma has still not had its siege lifted, so we are very lucky that we still have this supply done there. So it did put me into debt a long time ago, but it is keeping us going just a little bit longer, and it is, well, that's probably a good plan, keeping us going. I would hate for Pharaoh to be too pissed off at us. The gods are going well, and what I'm thinking about doing now, may as well keep recording, because I was just pondering it when that request came up, is to actually put another little housing block up here, and to begin a pottery. What are they doing here? Requires you to dispatch reinforcements within 15 months. And now, that's the thing, we're about to be attacked. Let's have a look, when are we going to be attacked? Foreign army will be here in 6 months, so we are not going to send something off just yet. But what I am going to do is throw another fort down. This one's going to be of archers up here. I'm going to build that up and hopefully be able to fight off the enemy wherever they come from, and then send off and dispatch our troops throughout the kingdom. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is getting a little area set up here. We've got more than enough food coming in. So I do need to be careful with regards to actually overpopulating and putting too many people down. But I think for the time being this will allow us to get a decent little setup going. I'm going to need, what am I going to need? I'm going to need to put clay import. Now, two of our traders, Timna and Badet, will actually sell us clay. So I can import clay in directly. Let's just go up to 1/4, and pottery up to 3/4. Then what I can do, I can connect these guys up here. And actually, let's throw down, can I put a bandstand there? Yes, I can. I'm going to put a bandstand there. I'm going to roadblock this off. And then we'll have a little clay area, a little pottery making area up here that I can fully set up. So we're going to need a... Actually, you know what? I will cut back when I get to it. And here we go. The foreign army has invaded. Where are they coming from? There you go, on the northwest. So let's send ourselves over our army. You guys are going to jump over there. And I might as well send this little quick... I mean, they're mostly built up, and they'll be able to be the first response team. I reckon we can see them off. I don't imagine they're going to be particularly powerful. You guys, if I can select you, just attack them. Not particularly difficult at all. Yep, that's the goods again. So with that, I think what we can do is actually just charge right in. They're not particularly strong there. There's only a couple of them. You guys, there you go. Smashing them. And there we go. Looks like sacrifices in combat. Excellent. So our kingdom rating is improving. Now you guys are actually going to return to your fort because we're going to be dispatching you out on kingdom duty right now. So I'm going to send... How about we send off... Actually, we'll send off all the infantry and that should be sufficient. And set up just over here, we have ourselves our first temple complex in the game so far. These are massive structures. They take up to 50 employees, which pretty much is why I'm building it. But they also give you a couple of other bonuses. Let's see if we can find out what the one to Seth does. Maybe if we click here. Okay, the temple complex to Seth allows our soldiers to fight better. And we can also add on 2 additional things to it. We can have the altar of Anubis, which will give us mortuaries, which we're not going to bother building. The oracle of Sekhmet will also be added on, and that will give us... That'll actually give our temples the ability to reduce crime in the city. So they will act as a police station, which is pretty useful, all things considered. So let's have a look at doing that. We're going to... Excellent. Just going to make sure that... Yeah, Seth is currently apathetic. That will jump up very quickly, I imagine. We're going to throw down... Let's actually throw a temple to Ra. I would actually prefer doing one of those. And this will keep them all looking very happy and very nice. I need to roadblock there. So if we throw down, let's go temple complex, we can throw down the altar of Anubis. It's not actually going to help us this time, but I've got the cash for it, so why not? And the oracle of Sekhmet will actually replace this centre bit there and allow our guys over here to act as police officers. I will need to place down a temple to Ra in here if I would like that effect, but for the time being I haven't bothered. And our heroes are victorious from the war. They have... Yep, they have helped win the war, or win the battle at least. So what I'm going to need to do is, I think I'm going to throw in a couple of hunting lodges just here. May as well do it on camera now that I'm here. And those guys should be enough to... Actually, that'll be more than enough, I reckon, to keep the whole area going. I actually don't think I've planned this very well. I'm going to have to roadblock up here, here, and... No, actually, I won't roadblock there. Just make sure that's working. Yes, actually, I am going to roadblock there. I'm going to send up... The way I'm doing this is not the way I normally do it. I'm just going to throw up... New trade route. Yep, Kerma is reopened. That'll allow us to continue. So I'm going to roadblock up just here. I should redo that. And that'll force our dudes down this direction so that they can access the labour from those tents there rather than get it all mixed up in the centre here. We're going to want a firehouse and engineer's post, of course, or architect's post, whatever you call them. And everyone should be being fed quite well. We can actually throw up the population here. We currently have 2,000. We need 3,000. But I'm probably a little bit cautious about throwing on more because we're currently at 21% unemployment again. So and that's only going to shoot up as this begins to develop. So we need to work on our next export. So these guys here will buy beer. Is there anywhere that will sell us barley? Yep, you will sell us barley. So we're now going to buy and sell beer. And I'll be back once I've got that all set up. And our brewers are hard at work. We will be making an absolute mint from this here. And if I do decide to evolve my houses further, I can just get some getting warehouses to pull it across the city and level them up further. But I don't suspect we're going to need to go that high unless prosperity is limiting us. We do require more luxury goods, but again, we've got loads of them. I'm actually going to need to, by the looks of things, reopen the route to Kerma. I think I will do that. Just because it's fairly cheap and I'm going to need the luxury goods. So let's not export them. let's import them up to 800 again. That will be a big expense, but we should have the cash for it, especially once our beer starts being sold. There we go, looking much better. Okay, the major concern now is that unemployment is so high, and I am running out of, I suppose, legitimate ways of absorbing that population. I suppose the time-honoured trick in this particular situation is to basically fake it. What we're going to do, rather than, well, two ways of faking it. One is to just throw down a hell of a lot of unneeded industries, or I suppose firehouses or something, to absorb all the extra people. The other way is to rush for the end. We have sufficient culture, prosperity and kingdom rating. All we need is a couple of hundred extra people, and so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what I should be doing when I require more jobs, I suppose. And we're going to throw down and order more people to be brought in. This should hopefully allow us to basically push over that total amount very, very quickly. We only need another 300 people. And with that, we'll be all done. Just a couple more people. We are very, very nearly there. And this will hopefully win us the mission. May as well send off some goods right at the very end. You've got just in time, Pharaoh. Need another 35 people. And I'll be out of here. And there we go. It actually ticked over before we got that final person. But we are done. Let's head on to the victory screen.
Well done. You have met the twin challenges of securing an important trade route and building a prosperous city that provides for even the most discriminating citizens. Your achievement is truly noteworthy.
Well, I don't know if it was the most stable city, but it was a pretty powerful one, all things considered. It had a pretty solid military. It had massive, massive export capabilities, and had a large population that would have been great for monument building if that was a thing on that mission. Either way, let's head on. Actually, I'm actually going to go back to the previous mission, and we're going to restart doing the peaceful one, and I'll see that next episode. I've been Blxz. This has been Pharaoh. Take care.